Tonight, we have a great show for you tonight. Last night, we talked about AI channels that are being demonetized. Specifically, last night, we talked about defining the problem. We looked at demonetized, remove channels, discuss what actually is happening, present a strategy for protection and success, and introduce a B-roll prompt loophole, right? So we're going to go from AI channel being demonetized, and we're going to build upon what we talked about last night. If you have not seen the video from last night, let me show you should be able to see my screen right now. And if you look in my channel, you should be able to see this symbol. It's the AI channel purge. So you should be able to see that, and you should be able to get what you need out of that. Okay? In short, last night we talked about how to avoid the 2026 AI crackdown. Tonight, we're doing something different. Tonight is the B-roll prompt loophole. We're going to expand upon that. That was one of the topics that we talked about last night. And basically what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to expand upon that and try to show you some real life way to do it. It's one thing to talk about, right? It's another one to basically being able to show you what I'm talking about. So that's what you got to be in the lookout for tonight. So the B-roll prompt, what is it? It's a content strategy designed to bypass AI detection algorithm. As I said last night, it's a battle of the AI. We use AI data, AI tools to create videos and create script and blah, blah, blah. Now they have AI tools checking on us to make sure we don't have a lot of junk out there, right? So it's a battle of the AI, and in short, what they want to make sure is that they have what's called a human in the middle, right? That we are the one actually directing the AI tools to produce the videos that we want, to produce the messages that we want, not the other way around, or AI having a single button where you actually click and you produce everything. If you go back to this example that I have right here, if you look on the left side, you'll see you have an AI, looks like it's pushing a YouTube button, right? What this is kind of implying is, okay, a AI is actually creating everything, and we actually completely left out. And you could say, well, but I created the tools, created the AI to do that. But apparently that's not what YouTube is after right now. Okay, and I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on all the different issues with it, because I created a video last night. Please go check it out. I think it's fascinating to be able to get some great information about it, right? So what they're trying to, they are detecting low effort, right? If all we have to do is create the AI, and the AI does the same thing day after day, hour after hour, where is the effort that we're putting into it? Where is the human creativity that goes from video to video to video? Where's the 1% improvement that we're talking about here from the beginning? Remember what I said is one of the quotes that I love the most from Mr. Beast. He said he tried to improve his video by 1% from video to video. But if you have AI doing everything the same pattern all over all the time, how is that practical? How is that possible? So we have tonight, we're going to talk about a strategy that will get you to your 4,000 watch hours if you don't have it, right? And it will avoid demonetization in the process. If I knew how to spell it, I'd be a great man. So YouTube is looking for synthetic content, and they have a synthetic content detector. They are targeting video where the core value, which is a script, the voice, and the visual, the primary visual, is generated by a single AI, which is unedited. It's within an AI workflow. So look at these words in here. Script, AI is generating the script, the voice, the visuals, and is unedited by a person, and it's all included in a workflow. So this is what they're trying to avoid. That's what they're targeting right here. I'm going to highlight it. Right. And you see, last night I reported like YouTube deleted 47 billion watch hours. Can you imagine that? That's because it met this requirement, right? So tonight, what I'm showing you is a combination of ChatGPT to create a script, Gemini to enhance the script on the thumbnail, vidIQ, which I didn't complete the information. And video AI for the video and the B-roll, Automata AI for avatar and B-roll, vidIQ, someone that what's his name, vidIQ for thumbnail and word description, and restreaming right here. We're gonna have restreaming for restreaming. For delivery. You know what I mean? Delivery is this channel right now. So I'm using restream for delivery. So I'm using multiple tools. All of those are quite known to everyone and available. Video initially had an on-pay version that might still be available. I'm not here to promote any of these tools. Either I have an account with them or they are free. I could tell you right now, the one that I have a free ChatGPT account, I have a free Gemini account, I have a pay NVIDIA AI account, I have a free Automata AI, which is completely free. You could use, and I'll show you how to use that tool tonight. I had a free vidIQ account, but now I have a pay account because I kind of like it. I'm restreaming again. I had a free version, but I like it so much because I use it every day. So I have the basic pay account for. I don't have the highest or any of these tools. I just use the basic tools. So the tools that I'm talking about are either free or you could get them for a very minimal cost. So what I'm trying to do is avoid having a single AI workflow that does everything for me. Now, am I perfect at using all these tools? No, I'm not. But again, I'm going to show you how to use the tools that I have to avoid this thing called low effort content flag, right? That is being looked at by now. I don't know one more here, which I may use for this. It's a DaVinci Resolve. For editing. And that's for video editing. And that tool right now, they have a paid version, but I'm using the free version. Okay, so let me summarize. You could get a free version of ChatGPT, Gemini, Video AI, Meta AI, vidIQ, restream it. All of these can be obtained free. Now they do have a paid version, like I said, but if you wanted to, you can in fact get a free version of all these tools and kind of work with them. And I'll show you at least how I'm using it to be able to do that, right? So what I'm trying to do, the loophole works by using AI as a component other than the creator. So this is my workflow, and I actually use each of the tools. So the AI is not really creating portion of it. is aiding me and doing some of the work, but it's not totally creating my video from A to Z. Does it take longer? Yes, it does. But if you want to stay around for a while, that's really what you may have to do. So let's go through it. Okay. How does it work? The core of the strategy is moving away from generic prompt, like generate a 5-minute video about space, right? I'm quite sure you could put that into ChatGPT and it will generate a script for you, and then you could throw it and let's test it, for example. Let's go open here and let's open ChatGPT and see what it does. It's not going to do the video, right? But it's going to do a script, right? So you don't have to do a script. Generate a video, a 5-minute video script. Because then you could throw the script into anything, basically. Sorry. And if I was in my phone, YouTube could actually do that. I mean, YouTube has an app, and it's able to generate that for you if you wanted to see how it works, for example. So you see, by just going to an AI tool, you could generate a script, and by going to one of your videos generation, you could basically, and you could use, for example, you could use CapCut for that, which I didn't mention because I'm not using it right now. My subscription is expired, and although I love it, it can only take so much work. I can only pay for so many tools right now. So basically, I'm not using CapCut presently with my subscription expired. And they do give you a version where you get some free hours, and I already used them all up. So there are other tools out there, but any tool could do that for you. And I think that's the point that they're trying to make, right? The core strategy is to move away from generic prompt like that and moving towards a fragmented prompt workflow, right? So the human anchor, right? Either handwritten, which nobody ever does, or it's heavily edited, right? Which all of us do, right? Right? To include personal anecdote. Let me put one of these to the side right here. So when you're creating your script, you want to be sure you have personal experiences, a specific data point, nuances, and opinions that an AI cannot replicate, right? So this serves as proof of the human in the middle, proof of humanity that the algorithm looks for in the metadata, right? So that's what I said. Metadata is, remember, it's not like it's a human looking at your videos and saying, I think there's a problem here. The AI tool, right, is looking at the tools that you use to generate your video, right? It's a single video that does, and last night I spoke about one of the tools that do that as a complete workflow from beginning to end, that you could have your script, your voice, everything is in one place. And as a matter of fact, even the tool that I'm using potentially have all that stuff, right? But I'll show you how I use it so that you will have an issue with that, right? So it's moving to a script. See the handwritten, heavily edited to include personal stuff, right? So now, if you were with me last night when I talked about how to avoid the 2026 demonetization crackdown, I went through an extensive list of how to do that now. So what I did out of that was I created a script, right? Based upon that, I say, well, how can that really help me? I said, this is a script. This is a script right here. I created a script generator, right? I created something that helped me when I'm creating my script, right? Let's say about whatever. I use this master prompt as part of my script, right? I might ask my generator, hey, create a video based upon, and I'll give him all the parameters that I want to include, and then I include, I'm based on consistent with or in accordance with my prompt, right? So I use this master prompt when creating my script, right? So let me go over it real quick. So it defines the core objective, right? Create a compelling video script that feels deeply human, opinionated, and insight. See what I'm saying? So it's not just giving me data, it gives me opinion. You avoid repetitive templates, right? Right? And generic phrasing, right? So it does all that. The watch time is 10 to 20 minutes. I could change that. I could change that anytime that I want. I could make it 1 hour. I could make it 2 hours. I could make it whatever I want, right? This is the important part of that, right? And this is really good because, for example, I'm targeting, let's say 15 to 20 minutes. I'm targeting videos in that range because of my tools have, if I try to create like a 30, 40-minute video, kind of act squirrely and, gives me some problem. If I do 15 to 20-minute videos, and if I need to extend, I have another different strategy to do that, right? So the content structure, I'm not gonna go through each item, but pattern breaking hooks, right? It has one of those. Problem framing. It has an emotional post strategy that I'm employing. Reality check, debunk misinformation. Evidence and example, the credibility loop. I'm gonna stop right here because this is an important one. So case study, patterns, not just a list. Explain why things happen, not what happened, right? So that's gonna be, when I get my script, it's gonna be filtered through this subscript to ensure that what I get is something that I could start working with, right? Make it feel like insider knowledge, right? Strategic shift, actionable pivot. This is smarter way to do it. Hidden advantages, overlooked strategy, and you go through each of these items, right? So it's looking for that. Now, strict rules for anti-demonetization. Do not use repetitive phrasing pattern. Structure section identically to common YouTube script. Do not sound like generic AI narration. Avoid mystical energy unless deeply transformed. Avoid surface level explanation, right? So that's a filter that's created on my script. The human requirements. I'm not going to read it to you, but they're all right here. You can slow down the video and you can take a look at it. Now the B-roll prompt layer, which is critical. For each major section, generate 1 or 2 highly specific B-roll prompt using this style, right? Now I'm going to tell you how important that is. For example, this is the script that was created out of it, right? And I created a video out of this already, so I'm going to go through all of this right now so you guys see. So create a video for YouTube using exactly the script, using my avatar, right? That's an important one. Why? Because one of the things that you want to use is you want to avoid having generic AI voices. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. You're not going to get really penalized for it. But if you have your own avatar that could be this narrator, is much better for you. So, so we're gonna take a look at that one in a minute, and then let's do some more. By the way, the video right now is still in the tool that I'm using, which is in Video AI, and you see the start of it. Let me see. Start of it is based on one of my avatars. This is one of my avatars that I have in here. So let's see how it sounds. Okay, so by the way, it's a little not smooth because I have a lot of stuff in the background. I have the live feed that's coming around. I have the music is being played here. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can take the music off so it will be less of a distraction. Okay, so back here, for example. Now, I want to say this. When I got the video originally, my video was not in this. My voice was there, but not my avatar. I had to add it, right? And the way I'm going to show you what I did. So if you're using a similar tool, you're able to add it. So I went to edit and I edit the media. And I have uploaded this already. So basically, what I did here was I looked for my avatar, which in this case was here, and I just replaced it. So I'm going to give you an idea how to do that. I did the same thing for this one here, right? So the question is, well, if I don't have an avatar, how do I get one? So it's a good question. So Meta AI, which is actually is an automation tool, which I basically use. Is free. You could download it, and you could, if you're using the same tool that I'm using, which is what I'm using, Google Chrome. You could add the extension to it, and you could basically just give it a command. And for example, I created my avatar from here, right? So this is a couple of my avatar. Let me see what this one is. This is the one that I'm using. This there. So let's see that one. Yeah, I should not have done that. Anyway, so that's one. I created a second avatar, which is basically was going back to here. Was this one here? A close-up or long-angle shot of a dusty server rack in a dark blah blah blah, right? So I went here again, and I produce when you give it the command, and I'm going to show you that. I'm not going to upload it because it's going to take a little bit of while. It create 4 videos. So like for example, I am going to create one, so maybe it shows up while we're doing it, so you get to see that you get to see it live. So here. I already done that already. Let me double check. Close it for now. Let's say I want to be sure that I kind of mark it because I already did it. I don't want to do it again. So this is another one, a split screen comparison. All right, so chaotic glitching digital. I mean, that's a good one. Typewriter, okay, replaced by glowing fiber optic cable. That's a good one too. Okay, so I'm gonna choose this one. It's part of this strategy. Show you how it works. So I'm gonna copy that one. I'm going to go to my tool, my extension, pick Meta AI, right? Go to it. and keep what I need. Now I'm going to show you basically the makings of it, and then I'm going to upload something that I already created using the same tool, so that you do not have to kind of wait and see right there. It's going to create it. It takes a few minutes, right, to do that. But now let's go back over here. And like I said before, I already have some created, so I'm going to upload some media. Um, shaky hand footage. Okay, so I'm going to take, for example, this one here. So you see right here, it's being uploaded, right? So that's the one that I just showed you that I created a few minutes ago. Let's say that I find this spot that I want to put that in. This is just stock video, someone moving a hand, which is basically similar to that. So I could click here, and then I click here, and now that segment of the video is replaced, right? So I apply it, and I save the changes, right? So next time that I play the video, that is going to show up as part of the video itself. Like my avatar is being shown right here, and that's the one that I created earlier. That's what I was saying. My computer's a little slow today because of all the things that I'm working on today. So don't let it get to you. Come on, you could do it. You could do it. You could do it. I'm not gonna waste. I'm not gonna waste my time. If it comes up, comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So back over here, right? No back of the script. So when I created this master script, right? It does give me the kind of prompt that I want, because I gave it an example what I was looking for. So now when it goes out there and it creates prompt for the beginning of the video, I might get some stock footage that actually matches what I need, which I think may have been the case originally right here, but I change it to something that's more cinematic, more in line with what my video needs, right? And this is not still photo. This is actually there's some movement to it, like someone is actually driving a camera to the server room. But as you can see right there, it's doing the changes. It's changing the media. Once it changes, then it's going to play the video, right? So we'll come back to that in a minute, right? So this is the master prompt that I created that allowed me to, with each video, allow me to basically get some uniqueness to it. I have a consistency that certain things will not occur, like for example, duplication. Entonces, but it also helped me that I have some originality and a variation with each one. Now, let me show you this part, which I think is important now. So this, I have a section called customization input, right? So the topic will be different every time. The target would be could be different. It could be just big for beginners every time. The tone could be urgent, cinematic, analytical, or story driven. I do a lot of story driven script, but I have done urgent and I have done cinematic, right? So I could change it, or even done analytical. So I could change the tone of the script once it's created. And now that would allow me to create a script like this, which basically it gives me the title, which I will vary from time to time. It gives me the hook, right, which I'm able to modify depending on what I need. It gives me the B-roll prompt, right? Now, the B-roll prompt, I could take them all and put them in at one time, like a list over on my Meta AI tool, or I could do it one at a time depending on what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't want to do it. I usually don't do it all at the same time, because what happens is I get, look at this, see, I get 4 per, right? Each time I do a prompt, I get 4. So imagine doing one for a whole video, you're gonna get too many. So then you have to go through the selection process, right? And you have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you get a lot of video script that for which you don't know, okay, where does it belong? What's that part of? And that's when you are here, right? That you actually you could number them. Usually I will number them. When I'm doing the loop, this is number 3 because I only done 3, right? That's why I put the color in there. The 1, 2. The last one that you see is the 3rd one. So it's not too complicated. So I didn't number them this time. But basically, when I do print them out, I do kind of try to keep it separate so that I know exactly what's going on, and I could upload it into my video. I'm not going to upload that one already because I already showed you how to do that one. So let's go back to the what we're trying to accomplish tonight. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about that. Okay, so that's what we mean by the script is heavily edited, right? Don't just take your initial script, add some information to it, prove that you have some humanity into your video, right? So specificity and B-roll layering, right? Instead of letting an AI video generator pick the stock footage, right? You use a specific high complexity prompt to generate unique B-roll, right? So again, this is how we did it. We generated unique B-rolls script. Oh, sorry. B-roll prompts right here. I think I did the wrong one, but it doesn't matter. You guys get the idea. Can't help shadow dimly lit home office. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna make it blue so I know that I made a mistake on that one. It's very easy to make mistake when you're working with a lot of B-roll and things of that nature. So let me see here. How do we do this? Meta AI, go here, go there. I think I picked what the video should be about rather than the B-roll. I'm gonna treat you to another example how to do that. So you enter your prompt here. We should have video selected. You could select set of video. You could select images, and it will give you an image if you want, and some other stuff. Okay. So start, and I'm not going to wait for it, but I pick it up when I'm doing my final video editing. Okay. So again, they're talking about here how the loophole work, right? We talked about the core strategy, right? Which is not to generate a generic prompt, but generate a fragmented prompt. To have the human anchor script, right? To show how you as a human person is actually a part of the process, not just a bystander that you've been driven around. We talked about specific B-roll layering, right? Which is after you create your complex B-rolls prompts, you decide which video, like in here, which video goes where. What I wanted to show you, you see the difference here, how it's breaking it down. You have every so often what is called a B-roll, or it's being changed, right? Right. So you got different faces and things of that nature. You have your script here. You have your thumbnail. And every so often you see a little break in there. That means it's where something is changing. You go to that and then go here. You see that? So you want to have every so often you want to do that. That's part of the instruction that I gave to in my prompt. So you're basically every 5 to 7 seconds, you're actually changing the B-roll, right? Okay, so again, we're talking about a specific prompt. We show you that, right? And the reason for that is, according to the new policy, generic prompt is banned, like I showed before, showing a futuristic city, for example, right? It's a basic prompt, generic prompt, right? Now, a more specific one would be a handheld shaky cam footage of a person trembling while scrolling through the YouTube studio dashboard on a smartphone, right? The screen shows a sharp vertical drop in red revenue graph, hyper-realistic dynamic lighting from the phone screen reflecting on sweat now. That's one of the ones that we did, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you that. That is, I believe, I could pick any of them. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you this right now. You see that? It's doing that. So that's one. Now you get a chance to pick the one that you want because the generator gives you four. But you see the sweat on the hands, you see the decrease on views, right? So pick and that's the reason why you get four. Okay, this is a better example, right? You see the rapid decline on the revenue. See, that's a revenue rapid decline YouTube, and that's basically what the prompt is saying. Don't just do a generic prompt, do a complex prompt that has a lot of details. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to change this one when I get a chance because I like this one. That's number, I think really that was the fourth one. Yeah, the fourth one here. Matter of fact, I'm going to call it use two. That way you remind me because when I'm trying to upload, it's kind of hard to figure out which one you're doing. So, and I think also what I do in this, I usually number them like 1, 1, 2, 3, stuff like that. So this would be, I think the one that I used was this one. And the second one that I used was going to be this one here, right? So that gives you an idea of what is safe to use and what is not safe to use as you're generating your prompt, right? You want to get some complexity into it, and by creating a script, a massive script that basically contain all the information that you need, you generate B-roll prompt that are complex in nature, right? So you could think of them yourself, you could update it yourself as you go through, or you can use you create your basic prompt, then run it through what I call my master prompt generator. By the way, if you are interested in my master prompt generator, I will share with anybody. Just leave me a comment on the video, and then we're more than glad to share with anyone the master prompt for 2026 that I created based on the training that I had last night, right? So not a problem. This is another example here. I'm not going to read it because I think I didn't have this one as an example that I created. I wanted to show you an example of a prompt that I was right out of my script. Basically, I wanted to actually show you how it was created and show you how it was uploaded into the video to ensure, to go back to what I was saying earlier, We don't want to have a single AI generated workflow that does all the work for you. There has to be some creativity in the place of what you're doing, right? So that sounds good on that. No, the Harvard metadata signal, when you upload your information, you're actually using synthetic context. So, if you use any video that has AI, it could be deemed to be synthetic context, but because you do all this manipulation of the data using different AI, it's really not. It's a human-centric narrative, basically, that it's acting as a high-end camera. So you're not really, it's not 100% synthetic content, which is 100% driven by AI. If you use the methodology and the process that I'm describing here, if you use a single click to generate everything and just publish, as a matter of fact, there are some program that I will even post it for you automatically. You got to just click post, 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 and it would automatically do that for you. So imagine all that. So there are three rules for the loophole, right? Never use AI voiceover alone. Vary the visuals, active metadata disclosure, right? Those are the three rules that you got to follow. Let's go by one at a time. Always layer an AI voiceover uh, with a human edited script, right? Or better yet, use your clone version of your own voice. Now, when we talked about the video at the beginning here, I use my voice avatar, but I also have a clone avatar of myself, which I use here. So basically, that is my voice avatar and one of my avatars. I have multiple avatars. One of my avatars that I have used, right? And like for example, if I go to media here, if I go to edit, I'm not gonna make any changes, but I'm gonna show you another avatar that I use. Okay, upload a media. This is another one of my avatar right here that I could use to replace any portion of, let's say for example, let's find out there's nothing going on. This is stop footage. Stop footage. Everything is fine right there. Well, let's say, I don't know what this is right here. Let me double click on it. Start using a cinematic. So let's say, for example, I want to change that in there. So I like this one. So now it's on my video. So now I have two avatars, right? I have one where I have a suit, and I have another one earlier where I have a polo shirt. I think it starts with a suit, but I have a polo shirt on. See, I start like I'm in a hall giving a speech, and then later on it changes to me being in the office, comfortable, and things of that nature. So I'm going to apply that and save the change to be part of the avatar. By the way, my wife says, and my daughter says, this avatar doesn't look like me, which is okay, because I don't have a bald head, but it is what it is. I wanted to have something that breaks the pattern, right? Now we show you about using your clone, version of your own voice and unique inflection, right? So the voice, it is my voice. It sounds different than right now because my voice is a little hoarse. I've been doing live event almost every day for about a month or so like that. So it is what it is. Now the visual, every 5 to 7 seconds, the B-roll must change. And I show you that when I went here, you see the breaks here. Every time you see that, That means basically a different B-roll, right? I'll show it again. So you got that one. So you could really target what you're changing, right? Right. So that matches what I'm doing right there. So you change the B-roll every 5 to 7 seconds. It's important that you do that because if you have one of the things that I talked about last night, if you have a still picture where all that happens is the camera is spanning left, spanning right, spanning up, spanning down, it's not enough variability in it to kind of say what is happening. What is, you know, AI could easily do that. And if the task can be easily replaced by another AI and, without any thought to it, that seems to be a no-no when it comes to YouTube. We talked about that diverse prompt to generate the the B-roll. And again, I'm not going to show you again, but I'm going to show you again. This is something. You see every section have a different prompt, right? And I'm going to recreating them, right? But every section has a different prompt for doing that. Active metadata disclosure. Now, this is important. Disclosure is important. And for the most part, I think everything that I use requires AI. Even this uh, live show requires me to do a thumbnail, which I use AI for. And I'm not sure, but I'm almost certain that the Restream may use AI for some of the activity that it has. Like, for example, if we're using music for this, I think we should classical today. I'm quite sure some of that maybe type to AI. So I usually click AI because, first of all, you don't get penalized by disclosing if your video was created using AI. You get penalized if you do fail to disclose that your video was used creating AI. So that's a big difference. So the active disclosure is something very important that you all need to do. And I'm going to show you a little bit more of the video to show you the transition of the B-roll. So, and that's a good ending right there. Using AI as a tool, but you are providing the soul. What a beautiful ending. With that, I'll say